Hey y'all, thank you so much. I'm Mika Lynch. I am a singer-songwriter based out of Nashville. I'm touring right now. Go check out my Instagram. It is mika.lynch on all social media platforms except for Facebook. It's just mika.lynch, just my name. Check out my tour dates because I'm touring live and playing live all over the country this year. And go check out my music on Spotify. Thank you so much for having me. You're listening to Hank's Corner with Hank Jr.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hank's Corner. This is episode 172. We are definitely moving along and getting up there in the numbers. Hopefully, you guys tune into the last one. We had a special one with Ashley Wineland. If you have not, be sure to check that out. But just like any other episode, I always seem to find these special musicians out there, the special artists, and I definitely got a great one for you here coming up. She is definitely fairly new on my radar, but the first time I started hearing her, I'm like, she's good, she's awesome, she's going to be a rising star, we need to get her on, and we finally got it to make it happen. So please welcome to Hank's Corner, Mika Lynch. Mika, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful. And those that know me, I tell them all the time that I'm documenting life's moments based out of the Tampa Bay area. I got this little corner. Where are you actually calling in from today?
I'm calling in from Nashville. I'm at home base right now. We start traveling again in a couple weeks, so we're just getting everything prepped and ready to go.
Okay. And yeah, we'll talk about where you're going to be and all that good stuff. But you say Nashville's home base. Now, how long have you been there now?
I've been out here for a while. I was born in California originally, but I moved out here when I was really young. So I basically consider Nashville my home. And yeah, I've lived out here since I was like very little.
Oh, I got you then. So I guess it gets a little confusing just because you're always like, it always seems like when you look at your socials and stuff, you're always traveling.
Yeah, I am. We've been to over 30 states already this year since January. So
Wow.
we've been hauling. We travel in an RV, so it makes it a lot easier than, like if we were vanning it or just in our car. So that's been great.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that RV because it looks like you're riding around in style.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, we have a little thing on it that says White Trash Edition. And
Okay.
it's kind of like the reverse of the Beverly Hillbillies, if you ever watched that show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like a constant comedy show because we travel with my mom's the driver, and then sometimes we have other people in the RV too. But my mom and I are really close, so it's constantly like a little comedy show because we just kind of like joke around back and forth. It makes the drives go a lot quicker.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always fun to watch your socials, and I will say that I am jealous about that RV because although I have a nice little truck that I like to travel in, I don't have that room that you guys do, and it's just I would love to travel around in that. And plus, since you do have a driver for you, that would be great if I had a driver as well.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that my mom is willing to drive me around, and I mean it's definitely a harder thing to drive because it's like 25 feet long, I think. It may be longer. I may be completely off. I just reserved the camp spots, and I'm just like I drove it once and I cried for like I literally drove it for like 5 seconds just because we were in stop traffic, and my mom was just like, I need to go to the bathroom, because that's the other convenient thing about an RV. We can go stop, run to the bathroom or whatever. It just makes it a lot more convenient so we can stop less.
It sure does. And I'm with you. I don't know if I could drive the big one. I mean, I'm sure I can figure it out, but I always like those kind of mini RVs, and I think that would be best for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it just really depends on like what you're needing it for. So like for us, because we usually travel with more people, because if we're traveling with a band, like having the bunks and the extra space just like helps us a lot with, being able to fit everybody in.
Yeah, and so that you've done all this traveling, do you have like your favorite spots that you'd like to go? And is there any place that you're just dying to get to?
Anywhere with a beach is my favorite, honestly. And then probably where I'm dying to get to is kind of, I really want to go out of the country, which kind of like defeats the purpose of the RV. But I really want to go on like a UK run or something. I think that that would be really cool. And then I also, what's in the States that I want to go to is I really want to go to Pensacola. And that sounds like really random, but there's this really cool campground there that my mom and I want to go to. So we kind of have been trying to like find an excuse to go over there.
Yeah, and we might as well go ahead and mention it here with all the traveling that you're doing. And you mentioned Pensacola, and you like beaches, and I've been trying to get you down to the Tampa Bay area because there's definitely plenty of great beaches here. But you're going somewhere very special that's got a lot of beaches down in the Florida Keys. So tell us a little bit about that because that's only a couple of weeks away from when we're recording this.
Yeah, so we're going to Key West Songwriter Festival down in Key West. We're playing a couple shows out there. I'm really excited for it. I went a couple years ago, and that was a whole experience in itself. It was the most chaotic trip I've ever been on. I think that was one of the first trips that I really went on that was like dedicated to music. So it was definitely interesting. But this time, well, last time we stayed in a hotel and we flew in and we had to drive down from, where were we? I think we drove down from Miami, I want to say.
Mhm.
And it was, different. And then now this time we're just, just driving the whole way because we're coming straight from actually Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We're
Oh,
driving
wow.
straight down from there. We have 5 days to get down to Key West.
Yeah, all the way down from the Amish County area up there. I
Yeah.
love Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's such a great area out there. Of course, they have a huge Renaissance fair that they have in the fall up there. But you're going from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, for real. I've never been to Lancaster area. I've been to Pennsylvania before, but it was up near College Grove area. So it's a little bit different. There was less Amish people there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, I definitely want to get talking about your latest single, Playing with Fire, because for many reasons. One, it's a great song. And two, you got a great cover art on it. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's start with the cover art because as a photographer, I love these things and I see it. And I know you had some, moments there that you had to definitely be at least careful, we'll put it.
Yeah, so my mom actually used to be in special effects for movies and
Mm.
TV. So I was very lucky in my situation. I came up with the idea. My mom started like researching it and seeing different ways of doing it. And so she came up with it. I think it's literally just Dawn dish soap and water, and then you just put butane gas and make little bubbles. And yeah, so that was for the hand one. I do not know what she did for the guitar, but I just know it was a gel and it was over my
Mhm.
head. And I was just praying that my hairspray did not catch my hair on fire because I definitely had a lot of hairspray in my hair that day because we did the fire photos first. And what's even cooler is that we did them all on my property because I live out in the sticks of Nashville. And yeah, we did it. I think it was like we took like 2 hours to take pictures for everything, and it ended up looking really good in the moment. Like with a literal guitar on fire on your head, you just never know.
Yeah, definitely pretty cool, and I'm glad that you were safe because this is a true story that I actually did a photography videography thing for a like engagement party for a couple, and they had a whole bunch of people at this restaurant, and I don't remember exactly what the bride to be was doing, but she was leaning over a candle, and sure enough, her hair started catching on fire, and luckily somebody caught it really quickly and put it out. So I know how dangerous that could be. Unfortunately, it did not ruin the wedding, but yeah, that was definitely a close call. So I'm glad you were safe. And tell us a little bit about the song. What's the backstory to that?
So I have a very big love of 2000s country, especially women's murder ballads. It's kind of like its own genre to me. So Kerosene by Miranda Lambert, Two Black Cadillacs by Carrie Underwood, Goodbye Earl by the Dixie Chicks. Like those are my songs of my childhood. And I've always wanted to write a song similar to that. And my friend was literally over at my house and we were filming content for her project. And I was like, I really want to write a murder ballad country song. And she's like, oh girl, I got you, like we have to write this together. And she set up a write with a couple of her friends and we walked out with Playing with Fire.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you kept that theme with the Valentine's Day post to I think it was
Oh,
to your ex or something like that. And for those who haven't seen it, go to Mika's socials and you'll see all these things that she's buying. You makes you wonder what happened to the ex.
Yeah.
Definitely great. But let's go ahead and play Playing with Fire here on Hank's Corner.
Blue eyes, red-handed wild eyes, gonna need an alibi. Black smoke, John Doe, how it happened, no one knows. You're calling it a perfect crime. Who could have done it? Small town's most wanted. Won't find no witness here to testify. 'Cause there's a body in the bag. They're digging through the past, but all the evidence is ash. Three-star and diesel, who knew love could be lethal? Nothing but a cheat and a lie. Guess he was playing with fire. Now it's a cold case, no trace. Everybody sent bouquets, saying it was such a shame. But I ain't grieving, I had my reasons. He only had himself to blame. 'Cause there's a body in the bag. They're digging through the past, but all the evidence is ash. Three-star and diesel, who knew love could be lethal? Nothing but a cheat and a lie. Guess he was playing with fire. He was rolling around this town, but he was running out of time. Wasn't just a night that burned down a whole life. 'Cause there's a body in the bag. They're digging through the past, but all the evidence is ash. Three-star and diesel, who knew love could be lethal? Nothing but a cheat and a lie. Guess he was playing with fire. Guess he was playing with fire.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. here with my special guest, Mika Lynch, and you just heard her latest song, Playing with Fire. Like I said, I love it not only because of the music, but such great cover art. And, this second section, we're going to get to know a little bit more about you, Mika. We're going to find out, all your influences, where you got started. But before we do that, I always like to play this little game, and people at home like playing along with me. And, it's called Two Truths and a Lie. I'm sure you've heard of it. And kind of here's how it goes. Basically, you're going to give me three statements. Two of them are true, one of them's a lie, in any order. And by the end of the show, without trying to ask questions that will actually give it away, I'm going to try to guess which ones are the truths and which one's the lie. So if you want to play, hit me with three statements.
Okay. I was all prepared for this. This was the segment I was most excited for. Okay, so first is I was in a yogurt commercial when I was a kid. Second is I've missed a flight because I went to the wrong airport. And the third is I've been in the back of a cop car.
All right. So I need to figure out if you've actually been in a yogurt commercial as a kid, you missed a flight because you went to the wrong airport, or you were in the back of a cop car. Now, some of those things there are, possibly good things. The being in the back of the cop car is a little tricky because that could be good or bad depending on, where we're going with that. So those at home, let us know what your guesses are. But we're going to get to know a little bit about Mika now. And, I know that you started out very young, and it was kind of like, you immediately knew at that point, though, that music was for you. So tell us about that, that epiphany that you had.
Well, I was 5 years old and I was at my uncle's theater show at a high school that he was going to at the time. And I just remember sitting in the audience and I was watching, I think it was like High School Musical, or it's either High School Musical or All Shook Up. I can't remember. It was one or the other because I went and saw them in both. But I have this very distinct memory of my mom looking at me as like, is this what you want to do? And I said, yeah, I just want to be on that stage. And ever since then, I've been working towards that. And I, at 5 years old, somehow found out about what a vocal coach was. And I went into my parents' room and I was like, I really want a vocal lesson. And I begged them to find me a voice teacher, which is really hard at 5 years old because most vocal teachers will not take you until you're like 8 or 9, maybe 10 years old because they don't want to like mess up your voice.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're a good teacher, they won't. And luckily we found somebody. Her name's Dawn. I've been with her since I was 5 years old. I'm still taking lessons from her to this day via FaceTime. And I every week would go into my voice lesson because originally it was just for like an audition, like just to prepare for that. And every week I would go in and I would beg her. I'd be like, "Can I please come back next week?" And it just kind of became a thing where every week I was like, "Can I please come back next week?" And eventually she gave me a permanent spot. But before that, I would just be kind of like fit in whenever people canceled or whenever she had an opening. So a lot of the time I would go like right before the voice studio closed, and so I'd be going and I had school the next morning, so I'd go in my PJs and I'd be like half asleep doing and just there. And I loved it. I was obsessed. I caught the bug very early. I don't know what it was that like really was just made me know, but somehow I did, and I did everything I could to get there.
At 5 years old, there's probably got to be a limited, genres of music that you're listening to. But, as you're growing up, what were some of the songs that, or the genres that really influenced you? The artists, the songs, all that good stuff.
So I listened to a lot of country, obviously. My mom listened to a lot of Garth Brooks, Tina Carter, The Chicks, Dolly Parton. And then my dad listened to a lot of heavy metal and rock. So I was very well versed. And then when I was a kid, I just wanted to listen to Radio Disney and Selena Gomez. I love Selena Gomez. I still love Selena Gomez and like Demi Lovato and all those people. So I feel like I was quite well versed. And then I also listened to a lot of musical theater albums and soundtracks and stuff because I grew up doing that. And so, yeah, my dad listened to a lot of Ozzy Osbourne and Iron Maiden, Limp Bizkit, and like also, more soft rock or rock in general, just like Bon Jovi and Fleetwood Mac, different people like that, Leonard Skinner, but that's more like Southern rock in my opinion. And then, yeah, I kind of grew up with a little bit of everything.
Yeah, as that one song goes, a little bit of country, a little bit of rock, and here you are. And when did you decide that you were actually going to put pen to paper and try to write your own songs?
So I wanted to start writing songs when I was around 11 or 12 years old. How it worked is I just like recorded demos of myself singing different songs like with this producer. I used to sing, this sounds like really like it's total side tangent, not side tangent, but side thing. I used to sing on kid dance videos. Like they would make their own music and they would do tutorials and sell these dance videos to like other dance studios of like, oh, like here's a dance routine for like a little kid. So I used to sing on those. So the producer who did that, we recorded like a demo of me singing 3 covers. I think it was like Little Red Wagon, Miranda Lambert, Blue, Leanne Rimes, and I can't remember what the third one was. But we sent it to this producer named Drew, and him and I started working together. He taught me how to write songs in a lot of ways. And then I ended up switching producers after my first couple songs. And this producer his name's Michael, he kind of would set me up kind of like how a pub deal works, where he would set me up with writers every day. I'd go in and I'd just go and write songs. And I learned different people's writing styles. Cause like I say that I learned when I was 12 years old, cause I wasn't born with that like God-given ability of just like knowing like how to write songs. For me, it was something I more had to learn. I've always respected the art of it, but it's just something that I just like didn't really know how to do. And so then writing with so many different people, I kind of got to develop my own writing style. And ever since then, I've been writing my own songs.
Oh, that's awesome. And I heard that you're working on a song that hasn't been released yet and that you
Yep.
might be interested in playing it here for the viewers.
Oh, yep. I got you
Tell
guys.
us, yeah, tell us about it. And
Okay, so this song is called Biker Bar. I kind of wrote it kind of as a Rocky song, more similar to Playing with Fire, kind of as a rebrand. I wonder why I'm still single, why I like to live free. All I can say is they just don't know me. I'm not the limousine and die kind of time. I'm a middle of nowhere, small town vibe. They say I'm wild, can't be tamed, but they don't know the name of the game. If you want to know the way to my heart, you'll find it in a biker bar. That any rhythm, neons buzzing and outlaw country band playing loud. You and your cup, me and leather and lace, spinning me around this smoky place. That's my perfect date, my kind of place. I'll be a redneck woman to your Marlboro man. If you want to know the way to my heart, you'll find it at a biker bar. My item covered in tattoos, a beard and a yes man attitude. It's my kind of dude. He's gotta have a freedom machine, look nice in a pair of Levi jeans. Back road city route memorized. Karma still can't keep me in line. If you wanna know the way to my heart, you'll find it in a biker bar. That any rhythm, neon buzzing and outlaw country band playing loud. You and your cup, me and leather and lace, spinning me around this smoky place. That's my perfect date, my kind of place. I'll be a redneck woman to your Marlboro man. If you wanna know the way to my heart, you'll find it at biker bar. If you wanna know the way to my heart, do you wanna know the way to my heart? If you wanna know the way to my heart, you'll find it a biker bar. That any rhythm, neon buzzing and outlaw country band playing loud. You and your cup, me and leather and lace, spinning me around this smoky place. That's my perfect date, my kind of place. I'll be a redneck woman, dear Marlboro man. If you wanna know the way to my heart, you'll find it back a
And you just heard a special treat there by Mika Lynch. You heard Biker Bar, a song that's not out yet. And so that's one of the advantages you get when you listen to Hank's Corner. You get to hear some unreleased music. And, I don't know if you can hint or give us any information. Should we expect this song to be coming out anytime soon?
Yes, definitely keep a lookout for it.
Okay. And of course, if you go to my Hank Jr. Productions Facebook page, every Friday I'm out there posting all the new music that's coming out. And of course, you're going to see that at the top of the page when it does get released. And, I am curious about the cover art. Has it already been completed? And can you drop any hints about that?
It's in the process, but just expect a motorcycle there. That's all I will say.
Okay, because I just I'm thinking biker bar, and I don't know how well you're getting dressed up to fit the part, and I could just imagine. But we'll definitely be looking forward to that. It was definitely a great song, and I can't wait for the release.
Same here. I mean, at least my hair was not at risk for this cover art, so I felt really good about it.
And walk me through as far as when it comes time to release music. Are you throwing out a lot of social media to help promote it? Are you doing like release parties? Like, what is your go-to?
I mean, I think that is different for every release, honestly. Because I've been like, I mean, I think it's something as an independent artist, you're still developing, you're still learning, and over the past couple of releases, I've been learning a lot. And for this release, definitely expect to see it all over your social media. But I don't know, like we've never done a release party before. I'd be open to it for one of our songs, but it really just depends on the song and what the vibe is of it, because I don't really want to release a sad song and then have a party and be like, oh my gosh, guys, look at this song that's like so depressing, but like we're having a party for it. Like I don't
Yeah.
think it personally makes sense. But
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. And maybe because when I've, kind of worked with other artists and promotions, usually when they're doing it, it's at least a full album if maybe there's some sad songs in there, but it's usually, I guess, an upbeat song. So I never quite thought that, hey, sad song release party doesn't match. But yeah, you're right.
I mean, maybe if it's about like like country music, it's like, you sing about like people who've passed or something. Like maybe if it's that, maybe it's like the release party just so happens to be, a like a little like celebration or something like of like remembrance or something. But I mean, for at least all the sad songs I've written, I've not wanted to throw a party or anything for it.
That is funny. That's the first time I ever thought about that. And when you write songs, I'm always curious because everybody's a little bit different, and where they get their inspiration from. How much of it comes from your personal life, and how much do you actually, when you write songs that is related to your personal life, do you actually put out there? Because it can be vulnerable putting stuff that is personal.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I predominantly co-write. So Biker Bar was co-written with my friend Crystal Sykes. And then my song Playing with Fire, that was also co-written with a couple of different writers. But I really just think it depends. As I said, it depends on the song, really. I think that upbeat songs are great to co-write with. Sad songs, for me, I write best alone. And I honestly write, like, I thrive in writing sad songs and very personal songs to me, which is kind of depressing because it's like the only time that I've ever really written songs by myself have all been more personal sad songs because you really know your own experience is a lot easier. I wrote a song last year that released in February called No Home Left for Me, and that was probably one of the most personal songs that I've written and released, and I wrote that one fully on my own, and that's the first song that I've released that was fully written by myself.
Oh wow! You know what? And it wasn't part of the plan, but I'm going to do a double play. I want to make sure that we get that song in since you put it. But we had scheduled that I was going to play a little bit of City Slicker, and I know those two don't really kind of go together. But let's go ahead and just mash them together for now, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about that.
Smoke and ashes fill the air, stealing memories from everywhere. The place I learned to ride my bike, school that raised me pre-K through 5. Football field I watched Friday night games, coffee shop where they knew my name. Ain't no way to get those places back. There's no home left for me, leaving a town. It's all burning down. People risking their lives, save the pieces left behind. So hard to believe there's no home left for me. Who knew how much a match could change? Spark igniting all this pain. My naivety is in the flames. Echoes of what was still remain. The world has brushed it all away. Hurts knowing it'll never be the same. There's no home left for me, leaving a town. It's all burning down. People risking their lives, save the pieces left behind. So hard to There's no home left for me. Barely even a town. It's all burning down. People risking their lives, save the pieces left behind. So hard to believe there's no home left for me. There's no home left for me. She wears white boots, Daisy Dukes, a t-shirt you can see through. Wears a cowboy hat that's red and black, and two steps when she wants to. But she don't know about Haggard and Jones. What she loves is rock. She'll fool the boys at the bar, saying what she's not. She's a city slicker, she's sure ain't country. I like my biscuits bigger, she likes hers gluten-free. She's hiding who she really is underneath that glitter. I don't wanna sound bitter, but she's just a city slicker. I like to get mud on my tires, but that's not how she feels. I love listening to fiddles and crying pedal steel. She just ignores that pretty stuff on all the songs she's heard. She can't really sing 'em, 'cause she don't know the words. She's a city slicker, she sure ain't country. I like my biscuits bigger, she likes hers gluten-free. She's hiding who she really is underneath that glitter. I don't wanna sound bitter, but she's just a city slicker. She'll drink all night and start a fight, 'cause she can't hold her liquor. When she falls down, her Yankee comes out, 'cause she's a city slicker, she sure ain't country. I like my biscuits bigger, she likes hers gluten-free. She's hiding who she really is underneath that glitter. I don't wanna sound bitter, but she's just a city slicker. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh. She's just a city slicker. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh. She's just a city slicker.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. here with my special guest Mika Lynch, and you just heard a double play. And as before the music played, I did say that they didn't really mesh together per se, but I wanted to get that song in there because I do like No Home Left for Me. And you definitely were, I was wondering, I had to make sure, but definitely were very vulnerable in that song, very personal. Have you had anybody come up to you and say, hey, you know what, that kind of reminds me of me, and they kind of really relate to that song?
I got a lot of DMs at the time because I wrote it. So a lot of my family lives in California still, and a lot of them were evacuated. So that's really what the song came out of. And a lot of the places that I always grew up visiting, whenever I would go out there, some of them burned down because of the fires. So that's kind of really where the song came from. And I got so many messages on Instagram, and I have one other song too. It's called 12 Names. It was about a shooting that was in the town over from me in California from where I'm from. And I think that I got a lot more people touched by that one than even No Homo for me, because that one was so extremely just something our town was going through at the time. And that one was more because I think I was 14 years old when that happened. And so that was more me processing it like as a 14-year-old, which it's a very heavy topic. And I got to meet a lot of the families that were from that song. So I feel like, and I got to sing at a couple of benefits that were supporting those people. So I think that that song was definitely a lot more of people coming up to me like in person and were like, oh my gosh, your song means so much to me. And I think that No Home had a similar effect, but I'll never forget 12 Names because of that, because of how many people like in person like walked up to me and were like, I just want to let you know how much the song means to me.
Yeah, I've always said, and I mean, it's not just for the artist and it's also for the people. It's for both, but music does heal. And, artists, have an outlet, which I've always said in a good way that I'm jealous of songwriters like you, because I can't really take something like that and, like you said, process it by putting it into a writing, a song, however it may be. And so as a fan, I appreciate that even more because you give people a way to process it when they listen to your music.
Yeah, and I mean, it means a lot to me when even in my own journey of processing different tragedies, and for me, like writing songs is definitely, as I said, an outlet for it. But I think it being able to help people is really what I'm here to do. Because and ultimately, like I thrive off of the human connection that music provides, even amplified by social media. But I think nothing beats a live show because it's something that you guys are experiencing all together at once. And I think that's beautiful and amazing. And I just like that connection, like that I feel with people, even though I'm on a stage.
Yeah, and I hope you never lose that passion. Please keep that. That's great. A lot of people, they get in for the business for a while and it kind of tends to fade away. The industry can make you jaded, but just keep that mindset. That's great what you say there to connect with people. Just keep doing that. And the other though, City Slicker is like I said, it's the flip side of that. But nevertheless, it's such a fun song. I still want to know, was that based on somebody?
It was kind of based on myself in a lot of ways. Because when I first moved to Tennessee, I was called a city slicker a lot. And well, I was also called a Yankee, which I was like, that's the wrong coast, but okay. um, but yeah, I mean, it was kind of based a lot off of myself. And then also, I worked on Broadway at the time because I used to play in downtown Nashville, which is actually insane looking back because I played down there from the age of 17 till I was 19. And I wasn't even allowed a majority of the bars I was playing at the time, and so a lot of it was based off of that too. It was kind of a plethora of things. I don't think it was one direct person.
Yeah, I thought I had a little sneaky suspicion in there that it might be loosely based on you, and I think that's pretty cool. And like I said, it's definitely a fun song. And speaking about fun, I've let it go long enough. Now's the time that I need to kind of figure out, what is true, what is a lie. You told me earlier that as a kid you were in a yogurt commercial. You missed a flight because you were at the wrong airport, and you also said that you've been in the back of a cop car. So, I've kind of played it back and forth, and I think, a couple of these could be really tricky, and I may be way off base, but here's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to say that you have been in the back of a cop car, not for any bad reason. I'm hoping not anyway, that you missed your flight with the wrong airport, but that you were not in a yoga commercial, but maybe you were in a different commercial. How did I do?
I was in a yogurt commercial as a kid.
Oh man. So tell me the backstory about your truth and a lie.
So I was in a Chobani commercial when I was like 11 years old or 12 years old. I don't remember. It was so long ago. Don't try to find it on the internet. It's hidden. It's buried. I've made sure of it. And
is that a dare?
No, it's not a dare. It's not not a dare. The lie is that I went to the wrong airport for a flight, because I just like was thinking of one that was like, what's something that like people are gonna see that I'm blonde and they're like, yeah, she's probably done that before. And I just like was like, oh, the airport one might be funny. And then I have been in the back of a cop car. My mom was friends with this cop named Michelle, and she came to my preschool, and I like she was doing an example of like how they arrested people and how they read the rights and everything to my preschool class. And so she arrested me. I was the test dummy, and she put me in the back of her cop car. So I've been in the back of a cop car.
All right. And did you choose to remain silent?
Definitely not. I did not go without a fight, because also I had such skinny wrists, because I was literally like in preschool, that I kept slipping out of the handcuffs and running away. And she'd be like, oh no, stop in the name of the law. It went on for a bit. And I knew even then like how to run a bit, you know.
Well, it's great that you haven't been, at least that we know of, that we're going to talk about, in the back of a cop car since preschool. We just have a couple of minutes left, and it's time for the rapid fire questions here that we're going to throw out. And one of the things that I like talking about, and it'll always come up on my podcast, is food. And being that you're all over the place, you may have some different varieties of stuff, but what is your favorite go-to comfort food?
Honestly, probably tacos. I know that sounds like really random. It's either tacos or Hungarian food.
Okay. And, to finish things up, how about a dessert?
Probably Jenny's ice cream.
That sounds good.
I'm very specific.
Yeah, tacos and ice cream. I like that, but you got a specific brand, so I'll have to try that one out. I actually have not had that.
It's in Nashville. If you're ever in Nashville, go to 5th and Broadway.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm in Nashville all the time. Was just up there in February, and I'll have to have that checked out and do a little taste test. Mm-hmm. And given the opportunity to sing on stage with anybody, who would you choose?
There's a lot of people that I'd love to play with. I think one is obviously Dolly Parton. More one at a left field would probably be Dustin Lynch, because we kind of share a last name, and I constantly get asked if he's my dad. And I know that sounds really random, but on TikTok Live, I always get asked, like, is Dustin Lynch your dad? And I'm like, I wish he was. Make it a lot easier for me. Or I'll respond, oh, I don't know. The paternity test hasn't come back yet. And like everybody laughs at that one.
That's a good one there. I like that. And you made me laugh so much I forgot my train of thought. I had the next question lined up. And I know musicians spend a lot of time, whether it's, playing instruments, working on their craft, social media, all that stuff. But do you have any hobbies outside of music?
Yeah, definitely farming. Not farming. I have cows, and I do cow therapy. I go outside, I pet my cows, I talk to them, I brush them. And then I also have like chickens and ducks that I take care of too. So that's definitely my hobby. We have kind of a hobby farm. So.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Do you have a favorite animal, whether it's a farm animal or otherwise?
My cow, specifically my Zebu cow, her name is Coco, and she's precious. I've had her since she was 2 months old. I bottle fed her, and she's my baby.
Oh, that's awesome. And, like I said, I haven't been able to get to one of your shows, but if somebody was to come to a Mika Lynch show, what should they expect?
Just a good time, we definitely have a good time, especially when I'm with a full band. It's just a good time. I have no other way to describe it other than that.
Well, I definitely love to have a good time. Alan Jackson, George Strait, they all sing about having a good time. And so I would definitely love to come to a Mika Lynch version of a good time.
Yeah.
But until then, until I actually get to see you, it was great talking to you. You're always welcome as a guest on Hank's Corner.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I had such a great time.
I know that it gets hard sometimes. I promise that you'll be alright. Hope is waiting in the shadows, running free and wild. And the grace inside your heart will be your guide. 'Cause there's beauty all around, open your eyes. Flowers waving in the wind, just saying hi. So take a deep breath and look up to the sky. After the rain, the sun will always shine. If you never fell, you'd never learn to fly. If nothing ever changed, there'd be no butterflies. So when you feel like nothing, remember that there's something coming from the dark into the light. So many stories that you're meant to live, and so much love that you've got to give. So keep the faith, run the race until you finally win. I'll be here by your side through thick and thin. If you never fell, you'd never learn to fly. If nothing ever changed, there'd be no butterflies. So when you feel like nothing, remember that there's something coming from the dark into the light. And when you feel like nothing, remember that there's something coming from the dark into the light. When you feel let down and you don't know what to do, go treat the world better than the world is treating you. It's okay if it's not perfect, someday it'll all be worth it. So hold on, don't let go. If you never fell, you'd never learn to fly. If nothing ever changed, there'd be no butterflies. So when you feel like nothing, remember that there's something coming from the dark into the light.